Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello, welcome to Seagulls Social Season 5, Episode 19. We have just drawn 1-1 of Arsenal with Arteta's horrendous tactics. I was going to say a word I probably shouldn't say there, but it's on Twitter all the time. You guys can look it up. I'm joined by Jack. I'm joined by Maz. Both went to the game. Both got wet. How you doing, Maz? I'll start with you.
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Yeah, no, it was a wet, cold day at the Amex. But no, do you know what? In parts, we look pretty decent. And yeah, I'm really happy with the draw. I'll take the draw. But of course, we got things to talk about. There's a lot that went down and that I need to talk about. And Rufio's going mental. So I'm going to go on mute.
It wouldn't be a Seagulls Social podcast without Rufio barking. So
this is true.
I think the people were hopefully used to it by now. Even the Arsenal fans, because we've been doing this for, 4 years. So they should know who Rufio is. Jack, how did you find the day?
Yeah, I had a good day. I'm starting my own campaign at the moment, which is say no to dry January. I lasted I think I last 2 days before I was.
That's good effort, to be fair, Jack.
Yeah, that was good effort for me.
That's 2 days longer than I thought you could do. So.
Yeah,
What,
exactly.
you didn't drink on New Year's Day?
No, I did. No, that's a lie, actually. So yeah, I did. The drink.
So you didn't. 2 hours then.
Oh, so you didn't.
I did. I had 2 points at Whitehall v Lewis. So
Yeah, so then that doesn't count then, really, does it, Jack?
yeah, but other than that,
Sounds like you broke it a little bit there.
yeah, I had a good day out at the football yesterday.
Good. Good.
Good.
It's always good when you enjoy the football, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a good day.
And Ben, how are you, mate? That's another important question. You're doing your 75-day hard. You're day 5, I believe.
No, this is day 2. I started on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, started yesterday. Just before the podcast, went on a 45-minute recovery walk from my run yesterday. Yeah, so
a recovery walk sounds so. Yeah.
Go on.
You know the
What
word.
the hell's a recovery walk?
What, horrendous or? Well, basically, I ran 5.6k, and it's the furthest I've ran since doing cross country at school, and my legs are in absolute agony. And walking does count as exercise.
Do you know Ben was actually a runner? He's a track star. Ben was back in the day.
Correct.
Were you?
I may not look it now, but yeah.
But since then,
Cross country for Sussex back in the day.
His life has unravelled in ways you don't know.
Yeah, I was a future Olympian as well. Yeah, aren't we?
Do you know what? I would pay to watch Jack at Sports Day.
I used to do shot put actually.
Of course you did. Where can we put this bloke?
Discus or javelin.
I got told off at school because I threw a shot put at a teacher by mistake. Like it was so off target, it hit the teacher who was doing the measuring, hit them in the leg.
Jesus.
Like it was. Yeah, it
You're so
good.
that you made it go all the way.
I'd love all the parents watching it at the Withdean, just being like, "Who's the adult participating in this kid's sports day? He's got a full beard in year 9."
Jack Littler.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, should we talk about the football?
Yeah, let's go from one generational talent, that's 17, born in 2007, to Aoife Wanyeri, who opened the scoring. See what I did there?
Good transition there, I like it.
AFTV did get a little bit of stick for tweeting that before the game, but then he scored. So they probably done it a bit tongue-in-cheek, didn't they, AFTV? Because they were saying, what was it?
They've done a graphics, didn't they?
What's the word? It's like the school, no, it's the class of 2007. It's Luke Littler and Aoife Wanyeri. And yeah, he scored, but I felt like the goal was definitely coming. It was just horrendous defending once again from us that let us down. And then, I think Bart was kind of blaming Van Heck for not making the block or getting there in time. But then you should say to Bart, you cannot let a ball go underneath you like that. Were you disappointed, Jack, when you saw the way that went in and the horrendous defending?
Yeah, some of the defending this season has been horrendous, throughout. And yeah, Bart needs to save that. He's made a couple of these recently, so I'm not. He's a good shot stopper, but he maybe needs to up his game a bit. So, as we discussed off air, I just don't think that he's got good competition to make him feel uncomfortable. Now, last season, I think he raised his game because he knew that Steele could come in at any given moment. Now, I'm not suggesting that Jason Steele come in because I think Jason Steele's like the perfect number 3. He can just sort of sit back, be called on. But, we've got the potential of Rushworth coming back in January. I think, personally, he should stay around and push Verbruggen for that number 1 spot. Because if Verbruggen starts feeling a bit uncomfortable knowing that he can be dropped, maybe it'll up his game. I don't know. And that's not a massive criticism.
And Jack, you made a really good example, the Matty Ryan season with Tim Krul.
Yeah, I mean, like Matty Ryan was very, very good in our first season because he had Tim Krul behind him, and ultimately Matty Ryan never got dropped, but he knew he could be at any given moment. And I think, with another quality goalkeeper, and I think Rushworth, if he wants to prove himself, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. So I would like to see Rushworth come back and fill that role. And it's a shame, and I'm not slagging off for Bruggen too much because, like, he's saved us a lot of times this season. But, I think this extra bit of pressure may up his game a little bit. And he's got to do better with that goal, and I think he'll know that. So.
I'll ask your opinion as well, Maz, but I do want to quickly say to save Bartlett Bruggen here, we did give him some props. He's usually pretty poor claiming corners, but yesterday against the best set-piece team in the world, hands down, he claimed a lot of them, and he was really, really good. So, yeah, for that, it was incredible. The fact we didn't concede from set-piece, which it feels like every club has done this season to Arsenal, that is an incredible feat. I know it sounds so boring, but that really is. Every time they got a set piece, I'm thinking, oh no, please.
Did you
notice? Came close a few times.
Did you notice what we were doing though? We did the Tom Garrett special. We'd have three players forward. So Saliba would have to stay back. I think Calafiori and someone else. So yeah, we done the old tactic of three up front. So if we did break them, and I think it was usually our quickest players like Minter, Adingra players like that would be up there. So yeah, it was smart what we did, and also I thought it was quite fascinating as well to see it live. Like, fair play to the set piece coach. As much as I sort of don't agree with it, I don't think it's sort of the way you should be playing football. But I sort of do appreciate the art of it because you see him on the sideline, he's probably directing, and the way they do it is so like fluid and like it's like a ballet, like an orchestra. It's all orchestrated, like the way they line up together, they like spin round and they come back together, like all in tandem. Like, you have to appreciate it. As much as like I said, I don't agree with that's the way we should be playing football. I don't think we should be having, such emphasis on set pieces and that being like your primary attack. I think that's not the way football should be played. But I do appreciate when you watch it live and you see like how in sync they are, especially from set pieces. You got to give a bit of credit. You've got to give credit to them.
Maybe, hopefully, one of you can shed some light on it. But I do wonder how it works because in the NFL, all the players know the play sheet. They know the plays they're doing because the quarterback's going to say some code, and they know what they're doing. They'll break into formation. But when you're on the football pitch, is the set piece coach going to the touchline shouting to Declan Rice something? But then,
he was on the sideline every set piece.
I know he is, but he steps up as if he's the manager at that point. Yeah. He always does, and the camera always pans to him like 9 out of 10 times. But I mean, for like a corner situation, and he's on Ethan Wanyeri's on the opposite side of the pitch. Is he shouting at Ethan, or was he shouting at Gabriel? Gabriel to then go and tell Ethan what they're doing, or is it just something that they know what they're doing? I can't really work out. Like Declan Rice when he put it along the ground.
Yeah.
How did all the players know he was going to put it along the ground?
Mate, he turned round to literally. So I was in West Lower, and he's turned round and he's literally given the biggest smile to the set piece coach after he's done it. So clearly that was very much planned beforehand.
Yeah.
So I think.
But like, how do they know when he's actually going to do it? Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes I think
it's a combination of two. I think it's a combination of pre-set plans. So like they'll be like, right, in this scenario, if it's 40 yards out or 30 yards out, we're going to do this. But then I think there's also a combination of he'll tell them in real time because he was doing a lot of directing, he was doing a lot of shouting when the set pieces were on. So I think it's a combination of both. They'll know some things beforehand, and then because like you said, it felt like he was doing it in real time. There's some certain set pieces where he'd be like going, right, you go there, you do this. And it felt like he was orchestrating it in real time. So I think it's a combination of both.
And then I guess, then after Wanyeri's goal, they then have a corner. And Gabriel, goes over to Wanyeri and is telling him something. But they're wasting so much time that even Wanyeri then gets booked. So maybe that's Gabriel going over and telling them what they wanted to do. But even that booking is so strange because it's not Wanyeri's fault that the corner hasn't been taken. It's Gabriel who's trying to go over and talk to him. And then, Wanyeri gets dragged off at half time, which was a huge benefit for us.
I think it was a muscle injury, though.
Was it?
Get dragged. Yeah, it didn't get subbed. I think it's what
I didn't hear that. Well, I mean, that was a huge benefit because I think, he had Purvis's number and he was causing so much trouble down that right-hand side for Arsenal. So that was a huge, huge game changer. But, I mean, Purvis didn't have the best first half against him, really, did he? Weirdly, he was wearing lime green boots, and I feel like I haven't seen lime green boots for ages. Can anyone else tell me the last time I saw lime green boots?
That's something I really focus on.
No, it's not something you're wearing.
It's hard not to focus on it when they're so bright. But what did you make of Purvis's first half, Jack?
Well, he had a bit of an all over the place first half, which he has far too often at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just couldn't really deal with Nwaneri. I can't say his name.
Nwaneri.
Sorry. Right.
Who's
Nwaneri.
Nan?
I want to call him Nanwary from now on.
Is that silent N, isn't it?
That's his grandma, isn't it?
Nwaneri. Is that how you say it? Yanweri.
No, Wan with a W.
Oh,
Jack.
Ranieri.
Wanyeri. Like Ranieri, but
Yeah,
with a W.
like Ranieri.
Yeah. There we go.
Ranieri. Yeah, no, I thought he was really good. I thought he was probably one of their biggest attacking threats. I mean, I've got a lot to say about the way Arsenal played as it goes on, but
Say it.
yeah, well, I mean, now we've gone on to Purvis, haven't we? But just more of the whole. I think we weren't great in that first half, but my God, like we were poor. So if Arsenal got a second, I think it would have just killed the game off. But instead, they just did the same crappy, cynical tactics they've done all season, which is sit in a low block. And you know what? They've arguably got some of the most talented players in the league. They've got most talented defence. Yet they're just sitting back, and it's just not very good. And I'm not
It's very anti-football, which is
Yeah,
weird
and
for
I-
Arsenal because back in the early 2000s or 2010s, they were known
Wenger
for
era.
walk it in football.
Yeah.
This fluid football, and now it's gone the other way.
And I just don't get it. I think as an Arsenal fan, I look at how many 3 years of them really pushing the title, being in second, arguably the second best team in the league. They're not playing up to their potential. Arteta's really just sort of gone like, well, I have no idea how to win the league, so I'm just going to play prime Pulis ball. Like they're just not very good, are they? Like
They had 3 defensive midfielders and then a back 4 of 3 centre backs, and Thomas Partey, who you could arguably say is a defender in himself, another defensive midfielder. So it's just to play that. I know they've got a couple of injuries, but fuck me, you can be way more attacking than that, surely.
And it's just like, I was just thinking of like, the way they're sort of, the banks of 4, the banks of whatever, however they're playing, you're looking from West Stand Upper where I sit, and you're just seeing them shift backwards into those banks when they're 1-0 up against the team at 18th in the form table. Like, we're not great at the moment, yet they're sort of running scared from us almost once they go 1-0 up. It reminded me of when we used to play teams in the Championship, and, teams would go 1-0 up, like, and this is not being disrespectful, but like, well, it is to Arsenal, but not to the other teams. But, I remember when Barnsley went 1-0 up against us. It's the same sort of tactics as that. I just think, Burton Albion showed more attacking threat in the Championship in that first half after going 1-0 up than other teams have. And I just thought when you see the best teams come down here, you see them play well. Even City played well at times in that first half, and they arguably could have gone in more than 1 up. Liverpool, when they came down in the cup, Gakpo and I can't remember who scored all the goals.
Gakpo's class.
Gakpo and Salah, they were fantastic. They were free flowing attacking football, and we were a bit under the ropes. We went 2-0 down and then got one back, and you can see that's a good side, and we've got a really good result. Whereas against Arsenal, I just thought, wow, this is just a team which doesn't impress me in any way whatsoever. And it's just and now you've started me, so I'll finish. And as well, it's just like, I'm sure we'll get onto the refereeing decisions, but it's just everything is the referee's fault rather than their own shortfalls, which is so frustrating. Like as to look as like a fan base when you try to tactically analyse it, because all it is all they're obsessed with is the refereeing decisions, when really they should be looking more inwardly into why they're not putting us to bed, because they should have put us to bed.
But that's just the
We've been
classic
so
Arsenal
poor recently.
Arsenal fans being deluded. It's a narrative that's always been like that, and they don't want to have a go at their own manager because surely it can't be Arsenal's fault.
If it,
It
do
can't
you
be
know,
their
trust
own
the
fault. It has
process.
to be someone else's. Yeah.
Trust the process.
Someone said it on Twitter. I think he's a Burnley fan. I know. He said it's like they've hired a manager because there's no one else out there, and they've just kind of forgot he's still there. Like there's so many better. Like I think Mikel Arteta is out for a hiding with the level of squad that he's got. Yeah, he's got a lot out of them, but come on, like. You spent 200 million. You have got some of the best players in the league, and you're playing shite football. Like it's
Talk
just
about Brighton or Arsenal.
well, this is what I mean. But like
200 million
right.
spent.
And this is what frustrates me, because I know when Arsenal are at their best, when they played us and they beat us 2-0 at the Emirates last season, they were by far and away the best team I'd seen us play against all season. And they just seem to have regressed, and I just don't get it. I don't get what the benefit for them is from this, because I don't think it'll win them the league. If they're going to play like that, and they're still going to get like 1-1s against teams which they should be beating us, and I don't really know why Arsenal fans put up with it, to be honest.
Just quickly on the whole time wasting thing as well. I saw a stat. Cards for time wasting 24-25 season. Arsenal are top with 9 cards and Bournemouth are second with 7. And I think that just speaks volumes in terms of like how can you as a club or as a team want your team to be wasting that much time and being booked for it? Like silly bookings, like Declan Rice, one of the reasons he got a yellow card against us was because he took time wasted. And then, of course, the Veltman kick, which resulted in his red card. I'm pretty sure it was for time wasting his first yellow, if I'm not mistaken.
I know, for like an orange card. He could have been sent off for that, to be honest.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah.
What game am I thinking then? Anyway, I remember, there's been times where they even yesterday, they time wasted so much. And, Ranieri obviously got yellow carded for it. So, there could have been so many more instances where they've done it.
There's the free kick as well. When they took at least like 2 minutes when they were standing over the free kick.
And the crowd was going mental. And then
was sarcastic. It was like,
yeah, but what's the point of Taylor like adding on time? Like it frustrates me so much when the referees can't be bothered to do the booking. This isn't just an Arsenal thing. This is just time wasting all round. There is no benefit from us having a few extra minutes compared to a yellow card. So go and book him and add the time on.
I agree, especially for my bet builder, Jack.
Well, yeah, exactly. But he's standing there like that. Add the time on and give the booking because he's delaying the restart and you still need to add the time on for booking him. So, it's a strange one.
I thought he was pretty shit yesterday. He made a couple good decisions, but other than that, it was horrendous. Like, I think Rice went down the back of Ayari's Achilles and just didn't do anything. Ayari was like, how have you not given anything for that?
And as well, like, I think, how did he get 6 minutes in the first half and then only 4 in the second?
It doesn't make any sense.
Like some of it was just. How did he only give 4 in the first half and gave 6 in the second? Like there was some bizarre refereeing. I don't know what. I think Taylor. I think we see it far too much with top 6 referees at the Amex in that they just give bizarre decisions. I remember the City game. It got us all riled up at half time. Probably is what made the atmosphere so good, and I thought the atmosphere was half decent last night, to be fair, as well at times. So
better than it has been, for sure.
Better than it has been. So yeah, for me, like
I did really like the red cards towards Declan Rice as well from the North Stand. That was good.
Was it? I didn't find that too funny for some reason.
I like that. I thought that was funny.
No, I didn't think it was like hilarious belly laugh. I'm on the floor laughing.
Yeah,
but it was funny.
I guess it's creative.
I thought it was quite good chat considering what Veltman, especially again, Veltman was back to it last night, yesterday as well. He was trying to get a few people rattled. I think he smashed into Gabriel off the ball after a challenge.
He did get booked, didn't he, Veltman?
Yeah,
he did get booked.
Yeah. He was rattling a lot of players.
I did actually make a note to talk about Veltman. He was brilliant. I'm glad he did start. I know Lamptey's had such a good run of games recently, scoring against Villa. But to have Veltman come in, knowing what it meant to the Arsenal players and what it means to the Arsenal fans, so for him to put that performance in, another great performance from him, the classic Veltman performance, at least 7 out of 10 every single game. Yeah, he was making some pretty fun challenges on people like Gabriel Jesus, just went straight in on him. I feel like Gabby Jesus was getting bullied by everyone. But most centre backs just love bodying him and pushing him to the ground because he's such a shithouse.
Except for Palace,
yeah, except for Palace. Yeah, they just let him do whatever he wants.
Sorry, I can't give Palace too much stick because they beat us recently. But
let's not talk about that. Veltman was very good and like rattled Jorginho, and Jorginho was so close to getting a sending off there because Veltman does push into Jorginho first to get that reaction out of him. But that's the dark arts that Arsenal fans love. But they don't like it when it's against them, do they? But yeah, I thought Veltman was great.
I actually had an Arsenal fan ask me going, why didn't Lamptey start? And I was like, purely for me, simple answer is Veltman is incredibly better defensively, and that's what you need against
so much more
Arsenal. Yeah, that's what you need against Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. I thought around when we had them on the ropes after we scored our equaliser, I thought it was a good time to maybe introduce him and bring in Lamptey's pace down that right, because I think he could have actually caused Calafiori a few problems. I thought Calafiori towards the end was really flagging, and Minter was giving him a really, really tough time down that right hand side. So imagine Lamptey and Minter together. That would have been. Could have caused.
I do think though,
but Veltman is way better defensively.
Veltman had Trossard locked up, so I feel that maybe that was too risky to then have advanced Lamptey and leave Trossard free.
100%.
As much as I hate to say it, and as much as he is a CUNT, he can cause us problems and has done in the past.
What they're going to say? Oh yeah, the only thing I want to say about Minter: buy some new studs, lad. Please, slips over. Please buy some new studs. He slipped over
like 3 times. I was like, and Adingra in the first half.
And he did it.
That chance. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he like slipped and fell over. I was like, what are you doing, mate? Why are people doing cucarellas, mate, all over the gaff? Get your boots in the bin, Sort it out.
He did it at Villa loads of times. Stop falling over, Vinter.
Yeah.
Because I think he's been really, really good last few games, but he keeps on falling over. Stop falling over.
It's very frustrating. It is so. That's like one of the frustrations. I know you can't really control that because your boots are your boots. Whatever. But it is so frustrating when you see a player like through on goal and they're about to shoot and you're like, oh my god, it's going to go in, and they just slip and you're like, what the hell? Like Adingra's one in the first half really rattled.
Conditions were quite
no, of
difficult.
Course.
Actually, by the end,
we got to take that into consideration.
It was snowing, wasn't it?
It was really raining badly.
It was raining for both teams, though, Ty.
The timing. Yeah,
it was. Let's not forget it was raining.
That's why they drew.
And then obviously we had the Minter came on. Minter comes on at half time for Gruder. I don't want to slate anyone, but I thought he was very, very bad. He hasn't really put in too many bad performances. But I feel like he was very poor in that first
I just
half.
think he couldn't really get a hold of the game. I think it wasn't the right game for him, I don't think. Look, I've liked some of his performances, and I still think he's getting used to the league. Definitely.
And then obviously, Britta comes on for O'Reilly. Again, I feel like that front line was just, I was going to use the word
I thought Britta done really well, to be honest.
Britta did, but I mean, in the first half, that front line was just discombobulated. It wasn't flowing at all for some reason. Which was interesting, because then I did read a tweet from, is it Graham Smith, the journalist, saying that sources inside Brighton are telling...
Sounds like a generic name you just made up.
Yeah, no, I think he was the Telegraph, maybe.
Yeah, no, I've seen Graham Smith. Yeah. He's a real journalist.
He actually is a good journalist, but he's saying inside Brighton they believe Matt O'Reilly and Baleba could be their best midfield ever, their best midfield duo ever, which was interesting because O'Reilly couldn't really do too much.
Is this Graham Smith not a Brighton fan?
Do you not know Graham Smith?
Graham's... Are you sure this is... I think you're thinking of Graham Bailey. Graham Smith is a goalkeeper.
Graham Bailey, yeah, that's it.
Graham Smith was a goalkeeper who played for Brighton, who is still my worst ever Brighton player.
You told us it was someone else. It was the...
Graham Smith was the goalkeeper when we lost 7-1 to Huddersfield.
Oh, well then...
So it's not Graham
Here you
Smith.
go, yeah, Graham
Bailey.
Is it this one?
Ben, you don't know your sources you're citing, mate. At uni, you'd be
No, I do. There's someone called... Yeah, maybe it is Graham Bailey. Anyway, he was saying that Matt O'Reilly and Baleba are going to be the two best duo.
But who is he, though? Like, how does he know this?
He's a journalist, but he says his sources inside the club are saying that. Brighton believe that they will.
What are his sources? Fucking ketchup and mayo?
He's actually... I'm pretty sure he's a well-respected journalist.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah. Maz is getting on his blacklist now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're fucked, mate. He's not coming on this podcast anytime soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say, just quickly, before we get into anything else, I need to go on a rant because I messaged you boys yesterday after the game. I was fuming, and I want to call this person out, whoever he was, this old man behind me. He wasn't old; he was about 40s, whatever. Anyway, obviously for our goal, we're through on goal pretty much. I think it's João Pedro running into the box, and then I've got my seat like half excited, going, "Oh my god, we're going to, this could be a chance here." And the guy behind me goes, "Sit down." I literally lost my... I turned around and went, "Are you Sorry, I'm not going to swear, but I swore a lot.
No, please do.
And I went, I was like, "Are you effing joking? This is a football match." He goes, "Yeah, but sit down. People can't see behind you." I was like, first of all, I'm about 5'2". Second of all, this is a football match. I'm allowed to get excited and stand up and show emotion because I actually care about this team. I like 90% of this fucking stadium.
Did you say that to him?
No, I didn't say this.
I was going to say that.
But no, because the thing is, I didn't want to get like him, because basically I've had an incident before. I don't know if I told you about the time when, do you remember I was trying to buy a pie and I kicked off with a Brighton fan in the 1901 club?
No.
Oh, that's a story for another time. But basically, and then I got security got called on me. And they were like, "You need to calm down." I was like, "All right." So I didn't want to repeat that, basically. So yeah, but I just turned around to him. I was like, "Are you actually being serious? Like, we're in a football stadium. I'm excited for my team potentially scoring, and you've told me to sit down. Like, it's an embarrassment." And I lost my head, mate. I was just like, it's embarrassing. And also, the reason why I want to tell this story is because we question why the atmosphere is so bad in the stadium and why the home games are so poor. It's because people like that are like trying to suck the joy out of enjoying your team. Like, for me, standing up, what's that going to do to your experience, really? Like, why don't you stand up as well? Like, and do you know what the funny thing is?
And then everybody stands up.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
But this is the thing. There were so many instances where he stood up. So I was just like, what is the difference between you standing up then on that chance and any other time you stood up the whole of today? Anyway, yeah, I lost my head. And I just wanted to make the point because of how bad the atmosphere is. And there's people like that that contribute towards that, and you need to change and not be such bloody. I don't want to say the word snowflakes, but basically stop being so soft and so like stupid, basically, because I didn't do anything wrong. I was enjoying the game. Is that a crime? I was enjoying a succulent Chinese meal. Is that a crime? Anyway, rant over. We can talk about the football.
I was going to say, it was getting a bit feral where I was sitting. Like, people getting very angry at the referee. Yeah, and it doesn't usually get that feral. Like, even
not the West Upper.
A lot of people were shouting, were very angry at the referee yesterday.
One thing, actually, just quickly on that, I remember when, I think it was Rutter did a misplaced pass, and the whole of the Amex went mental, like, really, like, dug into him. And I was a bit like, I don't really like that, because I feel like, don't get wrong, express when we've done something poor, especially when the basics. I do agree with that. Like, it is frustrating when we don't do the basics right. But like, I don't like that when, like, I think we were 1-0 down at the time, and I know it's frustration. But like, getting on your own player that badly after he's just made one bad pass, I think is a bit fair enough if he's made 2 or 3 passes that are poor.
Especially as he was one that helped change the game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I thought it was a bit poor from the.
Yeah, let's do second half, and Rutter comes on. I feel like he does really well. Minter was good, created a very, very good chance. I don't know if was it before the penalty or I think it was might have been after the penalty when it was like the cross was like the shot across goal.
We would have taken the lead.
Yeah, Matoma's right.
Ayari. Yeah, Ayari.
No. I thought it was Minter to Matoma, was it?
No. When Ayari slid in.
Oh, it was Ayari. Oh, okay, maybe it was Ayari.
I think Matoma came in at the back post as well. They were like,
that's what I'm thinking.
It was Ayari and then Matoma back post.
Yeah. But that was a good chance that he created. I mean, I think he had good right to actually even go for goal there.
It actually reminded me of one Yeri's goal without the finish. Because I thought he was going to try and curl it in.
With better defending from Arsenal.
Yeah, and he's put it across the goal.
Yeah, he made a good chance. And let's talk about Ayari, because Maz, when we done was it post Villa? Because I think we were saying about how he's very inconsistent, but luckily against Arsenal he was very, very good. And we did say, Jack, I don't know if you ever listened to the Villa podcast, maybe not, but we did caveat. Parts, thank you. We did caveat that he is young. He was playing the Championship last year. We can't expect him to be a world-class midfielder all of a sudden. So he is going to have these dips and these highs and these lows. And I thought he was really, really good yesterday. Anyone else think so?
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't think he was very good in the first half, if I'm being brutally honest. I thought
who was, to be fair?
Nobody was, but he was one of the ones that I wanted dragged a little bit. I was quite surprised when he took O'Reilly off instead. And then, second half, man, he really, really he stepped up a gear. He looked like one of the best players on the pitch in the second half. Thought he did really well. I don't think he's quite man of the match, but, he had a really good second half performance. And I think that maybe comes into what you're saying about inconsistency. Like, the inconsistency can even go across a whole game. But I think maybe it was a shift around that maybe let him go forward a little bit with the way that we changed how we were playing. So, Ayari's been a very interesting player to watch this season.
Talking of in-game inconsistency, Jack, I think that was the perfect example was when, in that second half, I think it was like late on in the game, when he made that run, he took on like 2 or 3 players just through the middle. Like, I was like, that's unreal. Like, what a run. Amazing. But then that just final pass was just poor. And I think that's a perfect example of what he can be. Like, that run was like, oh my God, he's amazing. And then that pass was just poor. So, I think he just needs to find that consistency in-game and in general.
There were a couple moments towards the end of the game where everyone looked absolutely knackered. I think there was a point where Baleba made an unbelievable tackle and we could have countered, and Baleba was charging the ball forward. And then
nobody's supporting.
No one was up there. I was like, where is everyone? There was only Matoma to his left, and then we just had to drag the ball back and pass it around. And there was another point when the ball had been played over to Estepinian and he's through. He's literally like through on goal almost, but he knows he doesn't have the legs, so he's literally like looking around him. Right?
Oh, I remember
and
that.
Slows down and brings it back. I'm like, mate, he must have been absolutely knackered.
Yeah, he was blowing at one point.
Yeah. But let's get on to the penalty decision. Rory talks football, as Wilf calls him. Rory talks shite. He says, as an Arsenal fan, so they probably all agree with him because 2.1k have also liked it. Anyone describing this as a headbutt should seek medical attention. If Saliba goes down rolling and screaming like Pedro, it ends up as a drop ball. Cheating is rewarded by pathetic referees.
Oh, fucking hell. Genuinely, I think I give him response every single time he sends a fucking tweet. I just think he's just pathetic. Like, every single decision is like against him. It's awful. All these refereeing decisions, like Christ alive, man. Like, can you not just look at, like I had that rant earlier, like, can you not just blame the failings of your own team for once? The fact you were even in a position for us to equalise just shows a complete and abject failure of you taking advantage of us in the first half. It's a penalty all day long. There's no situation where it isn't a penalty. Pedro's won the ball and he hasn't got eyes for the ball other than he's headbutted him. Yeah, it's a mistake and he's got there late and he's headbutted him. But if that was a tackle with someone's feet, you're still giving the penalty. And we've had penalties like that. For example, last year we had the penalty. Yeah. Lamptey got a little nick on the ball after Gabriel Jesus had kicked it. But that's still a penalty because he's followed through to him. He doesn't, if you're making the tackle, if you're making the tackle, and also like this is VAR used perfectly, by the way, to praise the refereeing team. The on-field referee is given the penalty. It is a decision which is subjective either way. So they've gone with the on-field decision, which was made in real time. Because if you slow it down 100 times, you might get that there was a tiny nick on the ball.
But it was only after.
Well, so he did.
He only got a nick on it after, though.
Exactly. And so he got a tiny nick on the ball. You can only identify that he got a tiny nick on the ball way after the penalty is done and you've played it at 100 times less speed. Football isn't played at 0.001 speed. It's played at 1 speed. But it is. And it is played at normal speed. Yeah, I know. It was all going so well then. It's played at normal speed. So in real time, when you watch that, you're giving a penalty every single time. If you slow it down, you're not giving it. Or you have to come up with 100 different reasons. And we saw the farce at Villa for that penalty, where they couldn't decide with the on-field decision.
Oh, that was a joke.
And it was just going on and on and on. That is VAR used perfectly. And yeah, Arsenal aren't going to get every decision. They had a decision at West Ham the other week where they got a penalty. It didn't really matter because I think they were 5-2 up or something. And, everybody's just laughing about that when Fabianski punches the air and Gabriel goes down, and that's hilarious. Oh, it's shithouse Arsenal. They're all utterly pathetic. Like it's like the whole
are one of the worst fan bases.
It's like the whole world's against them. Like it's just not, is it? Like Fabianski, didn't give away a penalty yet. That's hilarious. Yesterday Arsenal should be looking at why they posed no threat in that second half whatsoever. Should be nothing to do with the penalty. And
look at yourselves. Yeah, look inside yourselves, mate. I like that.
And I think we would have equalised anyway. We were pushing for an equaliser. Yeah. We were playing good stuff, and it was really good to see Pedro. And a shout out to Pedro, just
Captain
on a separate
Pedro.
note. Like on the way up to the ground, I think we all said, look, he's looked a bit disinterested in the last 2 games. He's looked like a walking red card at times. Why have we given him the captaincy? It's a big risk, but it was an inspired decision because I thought he was fantastic. I thought he really, really stepped up to the occasion, did really well.
He loves the whole the arm raising.
Yeah.
He loves it. He was doing that like 4 times in the game. I was like,
I
don't think you're going to get that out of the Amex crowd.
Yeah, I'm a bit 50-50 on that, but because I just think the players need to give us something to cheer about rather than them getting to.
Yeah, facts.
But look, don't get me wrong. I think it worked last night, and I thought the atmosphere was markedly improved. I wouldn't say it was
until everyone left in the 80s.
Yeah, until everybody just started streaming out because it's raining. Like, Christ alive, you wouldn't have lasted 20 minutes at the Withdean.
I saw a fantastic tweet. It was about the Tommy Fury video of him running, doing the marathon.
Yeah.
It was like Brighton fans in the 80th minute running to Falmouth Station. It's very true. I mean, I've done it myself. I hold my hands up.
Yeah, but I just think when it's 1-1,
not against Arsenal. Yeah,
when it's 1. Like, look, I don't give a shit if we're 4-0 down. Like, who cares? Like, we've lost the game. I don't leave early, but I don't really care, to be honest. Like, I don't. If we're 4-0 down, but I just think when it's 1-1 on a Saturday, come on and back the boys to try and win it, because we could win it with a good atmosphere, and I do think the atmosphere plays a huge part.
Correct.
In the ground.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, we saw how well it worked against City.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just about to say, when you've got the crowd behind you and they generate that a bit of atmosphere. I get why João Pedro wants us to give him something, but like Jack said, I agree. They need to give us something on the pitch. We can't just cheer like if we're 3-0 down, what do you want us to do? Galvanise you back? You got to
Yeah.
give us something to do something.
But
It's facts.
I just think, and also just think, like, as a football fan, like, you know, the end of that game, you know, it was end to end. You know, you had Brighton pushing for a winner, Arsenal pushing for a winner. How can you leave a game like that as a football fan? Like, it is just like, you know, it's football is cinema sometimes, and I just think absolute cinema. And I just think, you know, when you're watching a game like that, why would you want to leave early? Because it's just so.
I just do want to caveat though, because I'll again, like Ben, I'll hold my hand up. I've left football games early plenty of times. Like, you know, I'll put my hand up to that. But at the same time, I'll caveat, there are sometimes legit reasons why people do have to leave.
Yeah, of course.
Like those ones, obviously exempt. But I agree with you, Jack. Like since I can remember, apart from the Palace game, I've not left a game early. Like I'll put my hands up. Palace game, I left after 3-0. I was like,
but who cares? Like you know, we're fucked at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to like literally, I have never left when it's been like 1-1 or like even 2-1, whatever the scoreline. Basically, unless we're getting battered 4-5-0. I think the only other time when we lost Everton, when we lost to Everton. Yeah, that's when I left as well.
The only game I've comedically left early was a Brighton game that I left early. Was we played away at Blackburn. In the 2016-17 season, and the last train back to Huddersfield where I was at university was leaving in like 10 minutes, and I was like, right, I've got to go now. And then we went 3-1 up, and it was like 94th minute, like it was 94 for 5, and I was like, right, I'm just going to go. Literally, the moment I stepped outside the ground, Blackburn got one back and made it 3-2. So ever since that day, it's a curse. It's a curse.
So you didn't lose though.
No, we didn't lose. No,
right.
We didn't lose. We didn't lose. But I just remember they scored. It's not cursed, but you know, there just wasn't enough time for them to bring it back. So, I ever since that day, I've never left early. I left a Dorking playoff final early because Ebbsfleet scored to make it 2-1, and then literally as I left, they made it 2-2, and I missed a whole half hour of football. So. But I had to go to the Dogs. So
learn your lesson, mate.
Classic. Webster comes on on his 30th birthday, and I'm thinking, GZP.
Yeah.
And I was saying to my mate, I was like, I'll enjoy your 3 points here because it's not looking good, Rev. When Igor went down after making a fantastic goal-saving challenge, by the way, he put his body on the line. He paid the price. He went
that
off
was
injured.
a great tackle.
Webster comes on, and he earned the title again. Web Deeney's back. He's back. So let's see him start over Dunk, probably. Obviously, Dunk was out with a calf injury, which, was also funny because Tuchel left the Spurs game 10 minutes early to come and watch Arsenal Brighton. And after Waneri's taken off at half time, there's only one English player on the pitch, which is Declan Rice. I thought that was quite funny. So,
or Alan Webster.
Oh, well, Webster when he comes on, obviously. So if we need a centre back, Tuchel, you know where you're looking. Adam Webster's your man. But Maz, I thought, did you share the same concerns when he was coming on?
Oh, massively. I was very worried when he came on because, he's had bad spells, but to be fair to him, he's also had his good spells, which he had yesterday. So when he came on, I thought he was fantastic. His passing was great. His aerial presence was brilliant. He's challenging. He showed all the qualities you want from a centre back, and I thought he had a really good game. I don't think he put a foot wrong.
Yeah,
which I was quite surprised about. No disrespect.
Yeah, I think I was like, I'll admit I did a little bit of oh no, but it's
I think it was a collective one. I think the whole stadium was like, oh
yeah. And honestly, he came on and he just absolutely bossed it. He was his height was there every single time. He was he was on the floor. His passing was really sharp as well, which is something that and I like Adam Webster. I think he's had very good spells for us. There were times where he was easily a shoo-in for the England squad. If it wasn't for an injury, I think sort of under Potter, and I thought he was back to his best. Admittedly, it was only for about 20 minutes or so, but and I do feel like whenever Webster comes in, he needs like 3 or 4 to get going. Like he never seems to jump into a game and play really well straight away. He always needs a few games to get up to speed. But I thought he was straight up to speed. I think defensively we were really, really solid in the second half, which is a nice change from how shite we've been defensively recently. I think it was maybe Webster's the way forward. Who
It
knows?
was.
Well, I think he is because
Well,
everybody
maybe that
else is
could be as
bloody
well.
injured. Literally,
Yeah, but that could be
everyone
as well.
else is
And
injured. Yeah, because
obviously, we are looking in Jan. I think
Yeah.
I expect us to get a centre back in Jan, but it
hope
was
so.
a stark difference in that first half, seeing how we struggled, and even in the second half, how we struggled to break down Arsenal's defence. I know they had like 18 defenders on at one time, but compared to ours, how easy it was to get through us and how open we were. That just the difference, like when a ball was coming in, Saliba straight away gets it. It was a good start to, well, not a good start to hold because obviously I'm a Brighton fan, but watching them, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, they are very, very good defensively. But yeah, I do agree with you, Jack. We were
That was my biggest worry
half.
when we went 1-0 down. I was like, we're in for a long
Yeah.
evening here because of how good they are defensively. Like Gabriel Saliba, usually so
Even
solid.
Partey was good against the Dingra
Yeah.
because I thought there's a time when the ball was played over and Partey beat Dingra for pace. I was like, how's that happen then?
Mate, that was actually one of my frustrations. I thought Dingra didn't take on Partey enough, or didn't like. You look at that defense, and you're out of the back line. You look at probably Partey to be your weak link, right? Even though he actually had a very solid game, like he was pretty solid all game. But pre-match, you're thinking, right, who do we want to attack in this defense? It's going to be Partey, right? You got the pace of a Dingra, you got the trickiness of a Dingra. Go for him. But I just felt like we didn't do that at all. We didn't trouble him in any sense of the word. I don't think it was any time where you're like, oh, Partey's in trouble here. But that's just my opinion.
I thought once we introduced Matoma, he started to get a bit.
But yeah,
ropey.
I wanted to bring Matoma on at half time when I saw.
No, that's what I mean with the Dingra though. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Not with Matoma. With the Dingra.
Oh yeah, I
just felt like Dingra didn't do anything.
I thought Partey looked on the ropes as soon as Matoma.
No, he
came
did.
Yeah.
Or sorry, unnamed Premier League player looked on the ropes.
God's sakes.
But yeah, so yeah.
Pauses it all. Speaking of cunts, Trossard was playing, and towards the end of the
We can't leave that in, man.
Yes, you can. You can.
Yeah, go on then. Fine.
I don't know if the C word's bad, like as in. I don't. Think
We're past 30 seconds in a YouTube video, which should be fine. It's when they only look at it, unless they manually do it. But no one's manually watching Seagulls Social from YouTube.
Unless they're a Brighton fan.
Yeah, maybe, but they're rare. Although, tell a lie, I was running through Battersea Park yesterday in my Brighton top, in like one of the Brighton zipper quarter zips, and someone goes Seagulls, and I was like, no way, no.
We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere.
Do you go running by any chance?
Yeah, you just go running.
Oh yeah,
now.
just done one run, mate.
Do you go Battersea Park by any chance?
Anyway,
I live in
point?
London and I'm doing the 75 hard.
Yeah, correct. Day 2, and it's already annoying him. It's going to be great as soon as we get a few weeks in. Yes, the chant. We actually made a new chant. Trossard to count Ole. I thought that was brilliant.
We stole it from another football club who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
Who?
Crystal Palace.
Did they sing Trossard to count?
They were singing it at Arsenal in the cup the other week. So
were they?
Yeah,
we didn't steal it. I'm sure there was no resemblance.
No,
there.
well, yeah. But look, Trossard.
Do you know what I really enjoyed? Just quickly on Trossard was it like 90 something minute, and he had a chance to shoot, and he absolutely skied it over the bar.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
I think the thing is with Trossard is like I was having this discussion like during the game, and he played the pantomime villain quite well last night. Like in that he got completely pocketed by Joel Veltman. Which is interesting because I think they're quite good friends. So he really kept him in his back pocket. But yeah, I think Trossard, the way he left, like I think of all the stick a lot of players get, I think Trossard deserves the most for it. Like he just
it was the manner
left the country. Yeah, I just thought he was really poor, really disrespectful to the club who brought him over here and did loads for him. So I do think that was a really weird one. Who for us, like if I'm being brutally honest, like he was a good player on his day, but was violently inconsistent. Like he'd score a hat trick at Anfield and then fire a blank against Nottingham Forest.
He's showing that at Arsenal now, Jack. I think he's showing those inconsistencies. Arsenal fans get frustrated with him.
I thought he was poor last night. He's getting on a bit as well. He must be like 30, I think, or something like that.
I must be ancient then.
Yeah, I know we're getting old, man. So he played the pantomime villain. We kept him quiet, and there's another shout out to Joel Veltman for just being really good at football, and just completely pocketing him. So it was good. Good little performance from the from the little man from IJmuiden.
What'd you call me?
Which is what'd you call me? That's where Joel Veltman's from. IJmuiden. IJmuiden.
I'm going to meet you in a minute.
Very good.
It's a town. It's where Telstar Football Club play. I only know this information because I went to Telstar and someone told me Joel Veltman was from this town. Yeah, there you go.
Right,
There you go.
let's finish the pod on some transfer stuff because we are in. That's the best part about the New Year's because we are in the January transfer window. There is time for us to make some improvements, and it looks like we will be trying to get a centre back. We've been linked with someone from Palmeiras as well for like 23 million.
Yeah, Victor Rice.
Centre back.
Victor Rice.
Yeah.
Mictor Rice.
No,
Victor
Rice.
Mictor. Who the hell's called Mictor?
I don't know. He's Brazilian. He's
Mictor.
Brazilian, mate. He could be anything. I don't fucking know.
You're right, my mate Mictor.
Mate, they could
From Brazil.
I guarantee you, there's someone in the world called Mictor.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but not probably from Brazil.
Or just
Oh, you
anywhere.
never know.
I don't think. Yeah, anyway.
Anyway, yeah, Mictor. It looks like Tamori's linked. We spoke about that, Maz, but I feel like that makes sense. That would be so good because, obviously he was part of our promotion from the Championship to the Premier League. That would be so cool to bring him back. And I did say it in the previous podcast, but I don't think you were on it, Jack, but it'll be a good stepping stone for him to then come back into the Premier League and then try and get that big top 4 move.
Or get into the England squad because I think he's been a little bit ignored because he's playing in a different league. I think is unfortunate.
Yeah, maybe he's looking. I know that he's been dropped by AC Milan, so maybe he thinks coming back to the Premier League might have a chance to get in the World Cup squad for 2026.
Yeah.
And we definitely has a chance for doing that because our defenders are getting on a little bit, and we're crying out for some young blood in English defence.
Here we are.
Which actually reminds me, when I said top 4 against the top 6, or what was the stat? I've got it here. Brighton are unbeaten in all 4 of their Premier League games against the Big 6 at the Amex this season. 2-1 against Man United, 3-2 against Tottenham, 2-1 against City, and 1-0 against Arsenal. And obviously that's 2 draws.
Liverpool aren't.
That was in the cup, though. Wasn't
That was in the cup.
But Liverpool weren't mentioned just then, were they?
Yeah, no,
we haven't played them at home yet.
Oh, of course. Sorry,
In the
sorry,
Prem,
sorry,
yeah, in the
sorry,
Prem,
my
yeah.
brain.
Which
Yeah,
which is really, really good. And it goes to show that the stat that we always know is that we are better against the Big 6 than the teams below us, and that's just really frustrating. We love throwing away points. Anyway, but yeah, Tamori, Victor or Mictor, as we're now going to call him, he's linked with us. I think Boscagli, Brighton are looking to get him, but they don't know whether they want to do that in January or in the summer.
This is my big question is, we don't usually traditionally do a lot of business in January.
But we
are we going to buck that trend? And
we do, well, that isn't
we
true,
bucked the trend in the summer,
friend.
didn't we? And we just spunked a shitload of money, which we don't normally do. So hopefully they will do the same in Jan.
That is not true, my good friend Maz.
Go on, then. Educate me, Jack.
We do
Leonardo Ajoa.
We do. If we need someone, we will bring someone in. And I think that's always been the case. Like, I mean, one of our greatest ever signings, in my opinion, was made in January, which was Anthony Knockaert. Anthony Knockaert came in January. We've already made one January signing in Diego Gomez, who looks like he's for the first team.
It's just what we needed, though, Diego Gomez. Another attacking midfielder. Just what we needed.
And, so I do think there is precedent for us. If we really need someone, we will bring someone in. I just think in the Premier League era, the prices in January have got a little bit out of control. But I think Brighton always say, I think this might be why we've got a load of attacking midfielders this year, is they will always buy a player if he's available. If they see him available and they want him, and the opportunity's there, they're going to buy him. And you look at someone like Diego Gomez, where a lot of people probably argued, oh, maybe we don't need this guy right now. I don't think it's even an argument. We don't need this guy right now. But that's not to say he's going to be bad. It's because the opportunity was there to buy him. So if the opportunity's there to get him for a good price, we're going to do it. It's the same with goalkeepers.
But wasn't that because he played in America, though? And wasn't it because of the...
Yeah, I think there's the complication in that he wanted to finish the season with Inter Miami, which is fair enough. I can't blame him. Inter Miami.
Play with Messi. You're not going to do that every day, are you?
Yeah, I know.
Now I get to play with Webdini, mate. So.
Yeah, people are like that when they leave my five-a-side team. They're like, we want to play with Jack a little bit more.
They move away from the team, I think.
Yeah, I do want to say the price tag link with Victor from Palmeiras is 23.5 million. I saw, which makes me think that's quite a lot of money for someone playing in the Brazilian league. He might be good. Obviously, our scouts are usually pretty good with that. But then I'm thinking Tomori's out of favour at AC Milan, so he is available in your words, Jack, and he would probably cost a pretty penny. Obviously, it'll be a lot cheaper because now he's out of favour. But in my head, surely don't spend the 23 million on a future prospect in Palmeiras. Even though Gabriel from Arsenal came from the Brazil League and is a great defender now, why not get an already known good centre back in Tomori?
It's wages, isn't it? That's always the thing with us. It's wages. Tomori's wages are going to be like in the top earner bracket, whereas Victor Rice, whatever, Mixer, this chap, his wages are going to be in the much lower end of the spectrum, and that is why we're probably aiming for him. And I think some people,
I don't know if AC Milan would be paying. I know they've got some players on pretty.
He'll
high
be in the
wages.
top. If Tomori,
He's only on 86k per week in euros. So
that would put him within our highest earners. So
yeah, and I think he would deserve that if he did come in.
No, don't get me wrong. I think he would, but that's probably why we're targeting, and that's what we've always done. You know, for all the money that we've spent in the summer and over recent seasons, our falling block is always wages. Other clubs can offer wages. If you look at our the amount of money we've spent, we've probably spent like 200 million, however much we spent. But you look at our wage bill, and our wage bill is probably still within the bottom 5 of the league. And that's how we operate. We don't want to waste money on wages. We'd much rather pay good fees for good players, because you can recoup the amount of wages. Ansu Fati is a great example of why you shouldn't really spunk money on loads of high wage players. You know, we smashed our pay structure to bring in Ansu Fati, and it probably had slightly negative effects on the whole operation. So for me, I think that's probably why we're targeting more foreign centre backs. It's always been our policy, isn't it? And it'll be interesting to see where we go with that.
I've got a quick fix. It's what I'll do at Football Manager in FIFA. Release James Milner, who's probably on quite a few bob because he's not going to be playing again anytime soon, and then free up the wages that way.
I don't think
Problem
that's
solved.
Yeah, I'm
quite
not sure
how it works.
No, I know it's not how it works. I know.
Just quickly to wrap up the Tomori race chat. I also think that Tomori, I'll be honest, I don't think he'd probably want to come to Brighton anyway. I don't think he'll see that.
I completely
as a positive move
disagree.
for him.
I disagree.
I completely disagree.
That's
the best move for him.
I think you're wrong.
I think personally, I think it's a good move for him, but I don't think he will see it as a good move for him.
I think it depends what the other options are for him. I think that's big.
Well, that's the thing. I think there'll be other clubs that potentially can offer him European football, which we can't right now.
Well, yeah, and I think some clubs are talking about it. Also game time. Game time's a big thing.
Yeah,
it's a huge thing. So he may want to come here for game time, and he may want to come here for Premier League. I think you've got to look at like some of the other clubs which have been linked with him. Someone like, I think West Ham were linked. Like, at the end of the day, West Ham are going to offer playtime and higher wages, which I think is one of our main stumbling blocks, as I've just said. I think Juventus are going to offer probably higher wages and Champions League football, which is huge. So I think
so you agree with what you're saying? Is you agree with me then, Jack?
A little bit, but I think
so. You've gone from not agreeing with me to.
I think he will want to come here. I think more in the sense of what you're saying. Like, do you think he'll want to come here? I think the move is perfect for him. It's just what the other options are. I think is where I think we probably.
But that's the point I'm trying to make.
That's the point you're trying to make. Yeah.
There is going to be better options out there for him. I think.
Wait, do you know how old he is right now as well?
28.
28.
Oh, he's 27. I'm still thinking he's like 23 for some reason.
Yeah, he's quite young. He's getting on a bit now.
When he played for us, was he 17?
He was young.
Yeah, he would have been young.
No, he would have been just working it out in my head. That he
19?
Yeah, 19. Yeah, he played in 2016-17. So yeah, and I mean he had the debut from hell, didn't he? Scored that own goal on debut.
Oh yeah,
at Lincoln away. It was that ultimate fullback combo of Sam Adekugbe and Fikayo Tomori, which Lincoln just tore apart.
At all.
He plays for the Canadian national team now. There you go.
No, I do remember him now.
Yeah.
Now you said the Canadian national team. I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, trivia with Jack again. But
nice.
Yeah, but I think I'm a little bit frustrated with our transfer policy in the summer on centre backs. Should we have just paid the money for Boscagli? Maybe we should have.
Yes.
I think at the end of the day, a centre back was pretty clear. Maybe we should have targeted that area a bit harder. I think, I was discussing this with someone on Twitter, and to be fair, like cash-in has been pretty bad for Derby. But, that was another 2 seasons ago where we could have had another centre-back in, a young centre-back. And who knows, his career might have been different if he'd been coached here. So,
I guess the club couldn't have foreseen Dunk getting the injury and then also not being up to his usual standards and that sort of thing. So
I think,
again, that's the risk. That's the risk of not getting another centre.
And also like Igor getting injured, Webster getting injured, but also not to drag out the transfer chat too much. But I think we should get another striker in. I think we need to. I mean, the market's hard for strikers. I'll admit. I do think this idea that Evan Ferguson's going to go is utterly baffling.
He'll be on loan if he does, though.
Yeah, but even on loan, I don't think we should be going. Like Welbeck's quite clearly like not. Fitness is a massive question mark over him, and it's like it always has been. I think he just scores 6 goals and goes, "Yeah, dip," like that.
That is so good.
Like that. He literally has done it every season. So he scores 6
Jack,
goals.
just quickly, like I know we joke, but what does frustrate me though is that we know Welbeck's not going to give us a full season. We know, I don't care what. Like, there's some people going, "Oh no, he might give us a full season. He's going to get over his injury worries." Same with Milner, he's going to give us a full season. We know these players aren't going to give us full seasons. We know they're injury prone. So why are we not having a contingency in place? And that is frustrating.
This is the thing that I think the contingency for Danny Welbeck was Evan Ferguson. Now, his fitness hasn't been ideal this season. Is he injured, I think, at the moment again, which is another frustrating thing. So for me to not only have our main striker injured, but our contingency loaned out, seems to me like a completely baffling move. Unless, of course, we're looking at bringing someone in. And that could be something to do with it.
Quick question. Let's think of all the wingers. You've got Solly March back now. Do you agree with me that Enciso should be loaned out in Jan as well?
No.
No. I think he's shown too much in the last few weeks to be loaned out. I think he provides something very different.
What, shown long shots, that constant long shot?
I don't think that's true. I
don't think that's true,
Yeah.
I don't know why I've got scissors
I can't
in
actually
my
remember the
hand,
last time. I think he had one. Oh, no, obviously, sorry. Brentford first half, exempt. Take that out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's been too trigger happy outside of that first half.
Against Villa, but he could have easily have played it through to Gruder, and then he made Martinez. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good save from Martinez. But anyway, aside from the long shots, I think he's shown enough for me personally to warrant staying, and he gives a different.
What about Gruder then? I feel like we have too many. I feel like with Martinez, we have far too many.
I'd rather Gruder go out on loan.
I'd rather Gruder go on loan, but I don't think he will. I don't
think he will either.
I think Gruder's benefit will come from playing more games in this country.
Hopefully,
if that makes sense. But I
agree with you though, Ben. There's so many players. We need
plethora of wingers and tens.
We need,
it's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? I just think another striker would be good because we've got a bench full of players who none of them are strikers.
Why don't we get Gyökeres back? That would be cheap.
Well, also like.
Do we have a buyback of a couple mil?
There's not many good strikers out there. I think we're suffering a little bit like we did we would suffer a little bit with, and to a certain extent, centre backs, like we did with the situation in last season where there were no good defensive midfielders to bring in, other than maybe Karloff Baliba, who is proving his worth now, but he took a season to get going. I mean, we were sort of joking in a pub like, who would you bring in as a striker? And I think the best option that anybody could come up with was Joel fucking Perot from Leeds. So
Callum Wilson, Jack.
Oh, Callum Wilson. I think I said that.
Or injury prone Wilson.
Yeah. We need to go. What's Danny Ings doing these days? We
still go for Danny.
Although I do think I wouldn't. I know this is going to sound mental. I wouldn't be against a Danny Ings style signing. Just for a contingency, like a loan or something. Bring in someone like Danny Ings on loan for 6 months. God, this is sounding awful. But, someone just to be that focal point. Because I think we really, really need that focal point. And I don't like seeing us shoehorn people like Rutter and Pedro into the striker.
Sorry, we did try to get that Conrad Harder guy. No, it's not Conrad. Is it Conrad Harder?
Yeah, it's Conrad Harder. Yeah, we did.
We tried to get him in the summer. So they obviously know that they want to get a striker.
Yeah.
So, Maz.
Boys, sorry to interrupt just quickly. I'm on the transfer market, free agents, and we can get Diego Costa on a free.
This isn't FIFA, mate.
Mate, Diego Costa on a free, or we can get Willian.
Those cheap wages.
Get Willian if you wanted.
Yeah, another winger.
Johnny Russell.
Oh, yes. Bring Johnny Russell in. I used to be desperate for Johnny Russell back in the Championship. I thought, why are we not signing this?
If we need left-back cover, or centre-half, we can get Sergio Ramos and Marcelo to come in. So we get those
Yeah,
two in.
let's get
Marcelo
Marcelo.
can play centre back. He can play
Francis
centre back.
Coquelin, we can bring him back.
Nice,
He's in the
yeah.
league.
How
Victor
old's he?
Wanyama, if you want him, he's free.
Victor Wanyama.
It sounds like
Morris-
my ultimate team in like 2013.
Yeah,
Carrier
Started.
Mate, Eduardo Vargas, who else? Cedric Suarez,
Good player.
Orsic, if we want him.
I don't recognise that.
Who else we got? Kurzawa, Aurier, Ryan Fredericks, Kamar Roof. That's a
Kamar
great one
Roof.
for up,
Kamar Roof.
up top. Get
I
him
think
up top,
Kamar
guys.
Roof is probably up there with my Danny Ings suggestion.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like.
No,
you know-
that's below Danny Ings.
Well,
What's
yeah,
Carl
maybe.
Jenkinson doing these days? Where's he? We need to.
He's
get some
at Bromley.
Is he?
Oh,
Right.
big up.
Right.
There
This
you go.
podcast has gone completely
Yeah.
south. So we should.
But no, sorry, just to emphasise before I get loads of stick in the comments about wanting Danny Ings, sounding like absolutely mental. I don't want Danny Ings. I just want a focal point number 9, and I don't know who that is out there.
Jermaine
Maybe-
Defoe.
What about
Zero.
Wissam Ben Yedder? He's on a free, mate.
Well,
You know what?
Pass on FIFA.
If he scores that many goals
If
against
this
me on
was
ultimate
2
team, he
years
must be
ago-
good in real life.
if this was 2 years ago, I would have been all over with Sam Ben.
All right, final one. Chupomoting.
Yeah, I actually back it. I
Actually,
actually back
I
it.
back that,
I actually
yeah.
back that.
I wouldn't be
Maz,
against it.
You've done very well there.
All right,
know.
Brighton, if you're watching, you're welcome. I'll charge a 1% fee for where
Yeah.
you're getting. Wherever
That's
his
a
wages are.
great
Because
shout.
his agent is class. His agent is the GOAT. How he's got
Yeah.
all these big clubs, you are the GOAT.
Yeah,
So
Bayern,
yeah.
PSG, Brighton. Great little three there.
So Chupomoting. So wait, hold on. What was this? Wait, who does he play for now? Actually, hold on, boys. Oh, he's without a club. Yeah, he's free.
Yeah,
boys.
because he's free agent.
He's a free agent. He's without a club. He's 35. That's a great age. And so,
So the end of this podcast is Brighton should sign Eric Choupo-Moting.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a
All
great
agreement.
suggestion.
So he was at New York Red Bulls. Oh, maybe he's just joined New York Red Bulls on a free because it says it on Wiki that I think he's just joined.
Transfer
They
market
got there
is
first,
attached.
didn't they? They got
On
there
December
first.
18th, 2024, it was announced that Moting signed for Red Bulls. on
What a
free transfer.
disgrace!
Yeah.
Damn
You know,
it, we were
have
so
been
close.
out competed.
I'm going to send a really strongly worded email to New York Red Bulls about my disappointment in them signing.
And also to Paul Barber for letting that one slip. Because
that is true. That is very true. He needs to sort it out.
And he responds to emails. He might respond to that with a laughing emoji. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the draw. It was a good draw. Fuck you, Arsenal fans, because you couldn't even beat us with your Mikel Arteta football.
Lego head.
Fill in the blank. Yes, he's a shite manager, and you deserve everything that's happening to you because
Jeez.
you're boring.
Ben's waiting for violence. After
One
1 hour
day
and
you're
2
going to
minutes
wake
of-
up from your delusion and know that your football club is in the mud. You're not going to win anything, and you'll be back down with Brighton, Fulham, and Denman, where you belong. And you're
Right,
literally
well,
just
that-
managed by a set piece coach, and that's the only way you can win games. And you couldn't even score one against us because part of Evergreen's normally shit from corners, but he managed to make you look pony. All right, like, subscribe.
Okay.
Oh,
And
can I
we'll-
shout out someone? The guy who I met
I
in the
don't think they're
concourse.
watching after an hour and 3.
Maybe they are. There's some guy in the concourse. He was called Stacey. He was a very nice guy. So he told me to give him a shout out.
Got it going on.
So right,
Goodbye.
goodbye. See you later.
Oh, sorry,
Nice.
Stacey.
Was that it? Stacey, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers for listening, Stacey.